Many of us struggle to find our way, and it can be downright overwhelming. But there is good news. The secret to unlocking true happiness and fulfillment lies within all of us. We just need to know how to unlock it. With a few smart choices and some dedication, you too can experience true happiness and fulfillment in your journey of life. But where do we start? And how do we make sure we stay on track while learning such an important lesson? Number one, you have the power to change the world. Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you, and you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people use. Steve Jobs. Everything we see and experience in our lives, including the technologies, systems, and institutions that shape our world, were created by people who are no smarter than you or me. So, if that is the case, and these other people were able to create these things, then we too have the power to change things and create something new. However, in order to create these impactful systems and technologies, we should not be intimidated by the accomplishments of others, or think that we are not capable of achieving similar things. We each have the ability to influence and shape the world around us. Each of us can create things, technologies, systems, and institutions that can benefit and be used by other people. The difference between those that build and those that watch, builders push past limiting beliefs. They take action towards their goals. Despite any doubts or fears that they may have, they are able to focus on their vision and take risks, even when others tell them it's impossible or discourage them. Who is to say what is possible and what is impossible? The word impossible gives us boundaries. The word possible gives us endless possibilities. When we believe in the possibility of creating impact, in whatever form that means to you, it opens a lot of doors. Life starts as a blank piece of paper for each of us. It takes one initial thought to start creating an image on that page, an image that defines a new future. But in order for us to create this story, we must be bold, creative, and confident about our abilities to make an impact on the world. If you don't, someone else will. Number two, your imagination is your most valuable asset. Every child is born with a vivid imagination. But just as a muscle grows flabby with disuse, so the bright imagination of a child pales in the later years if he ceases to exercise it. Walt Disney. Just as physical exercise is necessary to keep our bodies healthy and strong, using our imagination is necessary to keep our minds creative and imaginative. See, as children, we are naturally imaginative. The backyard can be an unexplored jungle on a different planet. A box can become a space shuttle to take us to a distant planet. The sheets on our bed can turn into a palace in Egypt. This abundance of imagination is so present when we are children, because during this stage of our life, we are not yet burdened by the practical concerns and limitations that come with age. However, as we grow older, we often become more focused on practicality and reality. We rely more on logic and reason. And this can happen for several reasons, such as cultural pressures or societal expectations or personal insecurities. We are told that daydreaming is a waste of time, or that being too imaginative is not practical in the real world. We also become more focused on our responsibilities and obligations, and this starts to crowd out creative outlets. And when these things happen, we start to suppress our imaginative tendencies. So, the question becomes, how do we maintain this imaginative state as we age? In order for us to maintain this creative and imaginative state, we need to exercise our imagination. And we exercise this a few different ways, through things like engaging in creative pursuits, seeking out new experiences, and actively cultivating our ability to think outside the box and imagine new possibilities. The world, as we know it, is pliable. The world is not actually defined by invisible borders. Those borders, those boundaries, only become built if we believe they exist for long enough. Limitations are imaginary lines that we tend to scribble in random places throughout our lives. And when this happens, we miss out on opportunities for personal growth and innovation, and we become stuck in our current ways of thinking. Tap into the power of your imagination and unlock new possibilities. Number 3, curiosity plus responsibility equals happiness. In order to find happiness, you need to continue looking for opportunities that you believe are meaningful, in which you will be able to learn new things, to succeed, and be given more responsibility to shoulder. Clayton Christensen: to be truly happy, we need to be engaged in activities and pursuits that are personally fulfilling and aligned with our values and goals. We need to be constantly learning and growing, pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone and taking on new challenges that help us develop new skills and abilities. Many of us walk through life as zombies, bouncing against walls, thinking that life happens to us. However, life happens for us. Everything happens at exactly the right moment, neither too soon nor too late. Now, we can either look at these moments in life as walls or look at them as springboards of opportunities to get us over those walls. When we step on these springboards, we are leaning into the moments meant to assist us, not limit us. These are defining moments. They are opportunities to take on greater responsibilities. They are opportunities to gain new skills and experiences. And when this happens, we increase our sense of self-worth and satisfaction in life. Seek out these moments. Become a hunter of them, because doing so will lead to greater happiness and fulfillment. Number 4, striving towards a goal is the original antidepressant. Man is a goal-seeking animal. His life only has meaning if he is reaching out and striving for his goals. Aristotle: when we have a goal to work towards, it gives us a reason to get out of bed in the morning. It gives us guardrails as we navigate life towards a focused destination. This ensures that our attention and energy is being dedicated to a specific zone of interest. And when we arrive at these destinations, it brings us a sense of accomplishment, because we were able to get ourselves to those destinations, those outcomes, through effort and determination. This process of forging our own path has significant health implications, specifically combating depression and improving our overall mental health. See, goals not only give us meaning, but they also give us control and mastery over our lives, which helps to reduce feelings of helplessness and hopelessness because we see effort go outwards and we experience some form of return inward. And this cycle is very empowering because when this cycle is created, it becomes very difficult to allow negative thoughts to interrupt this flow because the return of effort becomes addictive. Why would we want to distract ourselves with negative thoughts? Why would we speculate? Heck, if we are able to get into the zone of focus, we have so little time to concern ourselves with these things. And on top of this, we start to realize the latter, concerning ourselves with negative thoughts and speculation, has a diminishing return. And this allows us to keep that continual zone of focus. Once we lose our zone of focus, we become flightless. Number 5, be fixed on your outcome, but flexible in the process. Be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. If nothing within you stays rigid, outward things will disclose themselves. Bruce Lee. When we're fixed on the outcome, it helps us to clarify our goals and keep them in mind as we make decisions and take action. This is particularly why goal setting is so critical, because it is our intended destination. And once we know the intended destination, we make decisions based on that trajectory. It guides our behavior as we prepare to take flight and during. Imagine for a moment you're a pilot and picture boarding your plane, entering the cockpit, and sitting down, seeing the coordinates for your flight. What's one of the first things you're going to do? Most likely check the weather, because that weather will partially determine what your flight path looks like. This is an interesting parallel to our lives for a couple of reasons. First, it's very hard to take flight in our lives if we struggle to know our destination. 2, during our destination, we need to make adjustments because inclement weather pops up. And when it does, we adapt to those changing circumstances. We overcome those obstacles that arise. This adaptability allows us to survive and reach our destination. Rigidity leads to stress fractures. Things that are more flexible have a much higher tolerance for stress. When we are flexible, we are innovative. We don't hold onto the rigidity of what worked yesterday. We morph into a format that works for today. That adaptability is what provides us with a greater chance of success and happiness. And it makes the journey more enjoyable. Imagine taking flight on a plane that did not have flexibility engineered into it. For one, the chances of that plane making it to its final destination would be significantly reduced. But 2, the entire ride from taking off to landing would be extremely uncomfortable. It would be a constant state of turbulence. When we are open to new experiences and approaches, we find that we enjoy the process of working towards our goals and even more than achieving them. Success is found in mastering our process, and part of that mastery is adaptability. It is part of what's ingrained in it. And when we are able to master this process and adaptability, it's almost endless where we can apply it within our lives. Have fun with the process. Number 6, don't try to win the race on someone else's path. Stay in your own lane. Comparison kills creativity and joy. Brené Brown. Our intentions should not be a desire to compete or beat others. Rather, a desire to achieve our own personal goals and realize our own potential. In other words, life is not intended to be lived off of a motivation and desire to prove ourselves superior to others or win at all costs. Instead, we should be motivated by an internal drive to create and achieve something of value. Our journey is a personal endeavor, one where we have the opportunity to contribute something meaningful to the world that aligns with our values. When we focus on our own internal drive to achieve, rather than external validation or competition with others, we are able to stay true to our own vision, one that is uniquely ours. And when this happens, it results in a sense of personal fulfillment and satisfaction that is not dependent on the approval of others. We should optimize for our own game. And you know what's the most amazing part about this? We get to decide which game we play. No one actually controls the game we play. If we don't like the current game we're in, we can opt out. Start playing the game on your terms and aligned with your values, and start finding happiness and fulfillment.